Welcome back to Sampstra Games, the place to find new strategy games, and I hope you are ready for this. This is a demo called Terror Endless Night, and it is a horror game. So if you know me, you know that when it comes to horror games, which I don't play many of, but some, we always do a first look, because it's gotta be authentic. If I'm not gonna be jumping around for real, it's not gonna be fun for you to watch. But this is a turn-based strategy horror game. You have to kind of manage your own people. So there's quite a lot of strategy to it, which is the part I'm excited about. So let's go. We take the helm of a 19th century ship stuck in the ice during polar night. The fate of our crew depends on my decisions and management skill. And follow the last day of the historic voyage of HMS Terror and HMS Erebus. They want us to show us the important mechanic, which is understand, and this is a demo which we obviously get. I get it. Now we can see our resources on the left, which we'll talk about, I guess, soon. Captain Francis Crozier. Actually, his name is Robert Crozier, from my patrons.
The cold night doesn't give in. We're still trapped. The ice immobilized our vessels near northwest coast of King William Island in August 1846. These words are written with my own hand. That is Robert Rawdon Moria Crozier, current commander of this expedition. It is so for Sir John Franklin, who was in command from after we made sail from Granhit, died on 11th June 1847. Commanding Captain James Fitzjames has become my deputy. As HMS Terror has been abandoned, we have grouped on HMS Erebus. Many men have died, many have fallen ill. We're running out of supplies. The crew experiences rather weird conditions. Weakness, absent-mindedness, lack of energy. I, however, am more than fine. We have sent people to get us some help several times in various directions. No one has responded. If you're wondering why am I this calm, I took some medicine that we had left in the cabinet. If nobody arrives to help us, me and Captain Fitzjames will consider leaving Erebus and trying to save ourselves on foot. Please do not let that happen. That sounds like a very bad idea. I would really like some help, and I'm only calm because of my meds. Captain, if you wish, you can end this day and go to the next one. Can you imagine that your ally just comes to you and says, hey man, you want to end your day? This is an option. You want to end all of your days? It's also apparently an option. Like, what? You can see how dark this game is. I love that that's the start of the game. Like, the game is like, we're gonna get dark, and we're gonna get dark real soon. I was expecting a tutorial. This game doesn't seem to give me any, so we'll try to figure this out together. So we have 68 coal, a lot of food, some wood. We can assign crew to tasks. So currently we're focusing on ice cruising. 2 people on ice cream. I don't know, do we need 3 people on guard? That seems excessive. Oh, it's not actually letting me do anything, so presumably the tutorial will come soon. So let's just end the day, as we were told. It's no use at all. Everything is pointless. Captain James Fitzjames was staring at a piece of paper, almost staring up. My brain wasn't working at its best, and my memory was functioning definitely, but I don't think I've ever seen him so depressed. The scrap he was holding was hastily written, a report of icebreakers who left no delusions. The ice was pressuring on the ship with such a force that cannot be withstood, even by sending large groups of icebreakers whom we didn't have either way. Couldn't let my deputy break down mentally. In these darkest times, it is thanks to his presence and support that we're able to survive another hour here. James,
I said,
do you remember what we talked about? We've considered leaving Erebus and escaping on foot. Now, since the ship is way beyond saving, it's no more an option but a necessity which we'll have to face.
Captain Fitzjames looked at me with his once charming eyes. There was no trace of happy sparks that used to shine from them. If so, we have to plan it carefully. In the meantime, since we're no longer considering stopping the pressuring ice, it seems that we have just gained a few icebreakers. We can assign them to other tasks. The young captain was right. Alright, move them to the kitchen, move them to the guardhouse, move them to burn. Move them to the kitchen, we need food. Captain Fitzjames looked at me with his... yeah, okay, we already went through this. So you've decided to stop the ice breaking? Yeah, I was already ready. Call the people to do so, click on them, yep. So we've got William Smith here and John Downing, who are all weather disturbed but incredibly loyal. And we want to jump to a kitchen And we're gonna put here William. And there doesn't seem to be shifts in the kitchen. So I'm just assuming we're gonna jump here to the furnace as well. You have enough rations for only 9 days. But what can he do? I guess I'll take the very person away and put somebody else in there. Yeah. Alright. Oh, we've got too many people in the sick bay. Alright, I guess we'll end the turn and we'll wait to see what happens with the tutorial. Every day becomes a monstrous routine. After waking up or the breaking out of a trance that cannot be called sleep, the first I do is get to know if any expedition has returned. Mariners have stopped answering this question and resorted to simply shaking their heads. Maybe for the better, as their voice could burn my conscience even more. Have I sent those men to death? Or have they found home in the settlement but has decided that rescuing us would be too dangerous? I was thinking how to tell the crew we would as well embark into dark, cold void outside of the ship when I received a report from a messenger. Captain Fitzjames is sharing an information, sir. Said somebody entering my cabin. I turned around. It was John Russell, navigator who seems to be responsible for the watch. People assigned to the galley have greatly helped with preparing meals. We have little supplies left, but it looks like the crew will be nourished better. One small instance of good news in the dawn of death and helplessness, better than nothing. I nodded and dismissed the messenger. Now back to reality. How to tell the crew that we're leaving the ship. It's kind of weird. It's like not letting me do much. We have 34 people in the group. 15 of them are working. So we probably should be... I still can't be changing anything. I can only put people on ice crushing or the kitchen. This person is very, so they doesn't seem to be doing so well. So I don't know if I want to switch them from somebody else over here. You could lower the ration, but I think it's okay. I don't want to give them more because I feel like that they would be hurt. And we can order these based on the differences. So I guess we'll just keep keep ending the day until we figure out what we're supposed to do next. We have 10-6, 8 of them in bed. So I would love to put someone in the sick bay, but I can't. It wouldn't let me click on it. Okay. The darkness, the cold or maybe closed space. Marines have experienced losing their senses several times already, but it has never been so dramatically as today. There were not many of us on the ship, so every somehow loud noise was echoing in wooden walls of the vessel, especially such horrible screams. Coming somewhere from the common cabin, I went to see what was going on, but with every step I took I felt more and more devoured by the screaming, imprisoning me just like the ice-trapping Erebus, screaming full of fear and despair. What happened was that one mariner dragged, probably having chopped it off, a huge oaken cross from the ship's chapel to the common cabin. When I ran into the room, the cross was lying at the floor and the mariner on top of it. He was nailing his hand at the horizontal bar. I'm the Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last, the beginning and the end. He was screaming, freeing himself from others who were trying to stop them. I immediately tried to help as well, but the mariner turned out to be surprisingly strong in spite of weak and malnourished creature. There's no need to worry, Captain. Everything is fine. Everything has a reasonable explanation, as you can see. Thomas, by the way. What on earth are you doing? I shouted, joining in cacophony of nightmare choir. Blessed are those who wash their robes, that they may have the right to the tree of life and may go through the gates into the city. The mariner kept on screaming, ignoring everyone around him completely. Eventually, though, when he managed to nail his hand to the cross for good, we pulled a hammer from his hand and immobilized his hand effectively. Okay, immobilized. I thought it said cut off the hand. It was just immobilized. After the noise, the room fell silent. It was sudden and unexpected, and probably due to that even more frightening. Holding the madman, we were looking at each other confused. What are we going to do, Captain? Somebody asked me, and only then did I realize that everybody's waiting for my orders. We're gonna isolate them. I'm not gonna be killing them. It's way too crazy.
The madman called down completely, is lying on the cross and looking at the ceiling with an empty gaze, as if he had lost all his vital energy by nailing his hands. Is it able to detach him anyhow smoothly? I ask nobody in particular. If there is no infection to the wound, it should not be much of a problem, said someone from the crew. Maybe we will be able to save his hand as well? Try to detach him then, and put him in isolation so that he won't be able to harm himself, let alone harm others. Maybe it's just a temporary breakdown, perhaps he needs rest. Marines looked at each other with doubt, but after a moment they started doing what I ordered. Let's hope insanity won't spread to other people here. Alright. So, I have 7 people sick, 8 people sick, 7 in the bed. Okay, that's not what I wanted. So here we can see our orders in the different areas. Religion, progress. So we have only unlocked science. So let me look. So here we have rescue expedition. There's a chance that no rescue will ever come to find it. To increase chances of surviving, can send expeditions out of the ship. Perhaps there's a help for you somewhere out there. Maybe there's a chance for food. Maybe this is how we're going to prevail in waiting for rescue. Remember that sending people on expedition will affect an amount of the crew that you can use to assign on tasks on the ship. Well, next we could do this. Modifies the productivity of all crewmen by a factor of 0 now. Lowers madness for all crewmen per turn. You can feel it how it slowly steps on your toes. Mariam's sense of hopelessness slowly consumes the minds of your crew. No wonder. Difficult conditions and feeling of no today or tomorrow. Its uncertainty may change even the biggest optimism to a pessimist. You know how it's important in the army to keep routine, and that really you find it useful to keep your people and to feel a sense of everyday life. That's why you may decide to make an order of keeping the mariners' uniforms and accessories in a Navy standard cleanliness. Every case of sloppiness will be strictly punished by additional task or longer shift. It is the highest time to keep everyone on the ship motivated and devoted to surviving. I'm gonna click on that. I think lowered madness is just crazy good. Okay, the tutorial is so weird because it's like not here. Like it's not telling me things, but it's not letting me do things either. Either give me a step-by-step tutorial that will force me to do what you tell me, or let me do my things. But this halfway mess is just confusing. And obviously this is a demo, so I apologize for being slightly mean. But it's just, let me do things or hold my hand. Don't do this half in, half out. Days and nights blend into one in this nightmarish darkness. Time seems so slowly to stop working. How much time has passed in my decision to imprison the madman? Hours or days? Everything seemed so distant and current at the same time. Whatever the case, the crew quickly felt the consequences of my order. The madman was put in a holding cell, but didn't help. Although he had no possibility to harm himself, he quickly started speaking again. Soon his word turns into singing. Bible fragments, part of Noel's weird and incomprehensible words started echoing on the ship. I'm quite sure it didn't make the crew feel better, since even I can control my anxiety whenever I hear the sound of his voice ring in my ears. Let me out, let me out. That's the end of my singing, because I sing terribly, so that was it. I will not make your ears suffer anymore, though it would be in tune with the game, because I'm sure he sings badly as well. In the afternoon, though it's just an estimate, and it was hard to talk about something like time of day in such conditions, I received a report from the infirmary. I must admit I was getting worried about no information regarding the process of healing indisposed people. For this reason, it made me happy that someone broke the silence eventually. Condition of 2 patients has become significantly better, sir. These 2 are the cook and the watch's commander. I'm not sure if you know, but you're bringing me probably the only positive word I've heard recently. I started trying to sound as cheerful as I could, though it probably didn't work that much. Well, it's not everything, Commander. I realized that my happiness was premature. It turned out that medication supply was running drastically low. It was possible to fully cure only one of them. What is your decision? I have a lot of cooks, and I don't think I need guards. Like, why do we need... Well, I guess to find the insane people. Okay, I guess we'll heal the guard. Under such condition, was there any decision that could be considered a good one? After all, I had to decide on yet another human life. I think that the crew needs to feel safe more than needs tasty meals. Maybe they'll calm down a little when they learn the watch commander's back on duty. I will pass your order immediately. Alright. So I go in the infirmary,
And here I can click on him, the guard commander. And I'll give him medicine. How much I don't want to give him 2 medicine, I'll give him 1 medicine. Okay. It's gonna take 15 turns to heal him? That feels like a long time. It doesn't seem to be changing if I put 2 in, so I'm just gonna put 1 in. And we can put more people here, so we're gonna put Daniel here to work here as well. Which I think would allow us to be able to get... Oh, I have to give him 2. Okay, so I'll give him 2 then. Let's give him 2. No! I think I kicked him out. That's not what I meant. It kind of won't let me click. It's a little strange. Let me close this. Maybe it kept him in. Oh yeah. So here. No, what? Ah. Keep messing this thing up. Okay, man. Let me give you 2. And I think clicking on this was right. No. Okay. There's no like OK button, which is what's confusing me. Like, and also it says 15 turns, but now it's actually 2. 1 according to the tutorial, which is like, which is which, man? As it turned out, the decision to cure the Commodus commander was on point. The crew quickly started noticing that they were becoming calmer and was more peaceful on the ship. Taking advantage of improved mood among crew, I decided to announce that we would be leaving the ship. We're still waiting for any of the group we have sent for help to return. However, I do think that we should prepare for the worst. If we are indeed left unaided, abandoning Erebus would be the only possible way to save ourselves. The crew was surprisingly content upon hearing my words. Maybe a lot of them could sense that something was already going on, or maybe Captain Fitzjames, my guardian angel, was the only one to know of this path, had spread this information so that Marines could slowly adapt to it. Are we supposed to start preparing now, sir? I would, yes, slowly. We have to make a list of things to take with us, prepare packages, and if nobody returns in a week's time, we will set off. But where, Captain? That was a good question. Question to which there was no answer yet. The Watch's commander is ready to again, so let him do his job. Assign him to a task. It will positively influence the Marines' composure for sure. Alright, he wants to work? Well, he can be a guard. Let's go. Actually, I'm gonna give him on the 2nd shift. Because otherwise we had no one else on the 2nd shift. Yep, off to the next day. Gathering supplies before leaving the ship is at full stretch now. It also turned out that we're not alone on the ship. Rats have a true paradise on the lowest deck, Captain. We have not controlled it properly back then, and now it turns out they have grown in number significantly during this time. Does it pose any problem to us? I mean, in our current situation as we're leaving the ship anyway, we're not able to take with us everything from the lowest deck and leave it behind along with the rats. I'm not saying that it is a problem, quite the contrary, maybe it is an opportunity. Looked at him without words, so he continued. Rats, as gross as they are, contain meat. Meat that was bred in our supply. As we're running low on food, we could hunt them. I think that additional food, though disgusting, could be helpful in a rainy day. We shuddered at the thought of eating rats, though indeed there were numerous cases where their meat saved lives on sea. On the other hand, mood among our people is certainly not the best before a journey into a cold darkness. We can boost their morale by organizing a shooting competition. We may use of ammunition that will still have, because we will have to leave it here anyway, but in this case there will not be much left from the rats for us to eat. So, make people happy or make them fed? I feel since last time we went for safety over food, we're the kind of people who prefer practicality over luxury, so to speak. And I'm using luxury very generously in this sense. Which means we're gonna get some meat. I'm a vegetarian, so this is doubly dark for me, but oh man. I decided we were much more in need for food. The journey can last several months, so food supplies are very valuable. I will announce the hunt immediately. Ugh. Choose the order menu.
What is that? Choose the order menu. Not this. Choose rats for me. The order to announce the hunt on rats. It will enable us to get more food. This is not what we want. Wait, rats for meal. This order will, yeah, so we are gonna 190 units of food per day. Increases the chance for poisoning disease, yeah. So we're gonna just allow this. Can I allow other things or not yet? I still can't apply the madness thing. Since we have more meat, we can feed the crew. Better go to the galley in order to change the amount of issued food. Our kitchen. Oh, I didn't check how much do you want me to increase it? Now the story. Okay. It doesn't say. Okay, now you unlocked everything. Okay, thank you. I wish you would give me a furnace provides warmth on the ship and preserves marine from hypothermia freezing to death. I think we're pretty fine on wood heating. We have 40 coal for 11 days. Oh, and we can set the temperature here. I like that. So I can adjust this. What's gonna be the new temperature if I just set it up like this? So we're now doing 4 coal units instead of whatever we were doing before. Oh no, so we were doing all of these and I took so I'm just gonna take yeah, so now we're using 2. Let's try that. And in the ice crashing, we don't need it. Well, maybe we do need it eventually. I don't know, but it didn't seem from the tutorial. So, furnace is for heating. Sick bay. I think we need another person in the sick bay. I really want to make sure that we heal everybody. And maintenance. Keep ship's decks and rooms in a good condition to make it possible to sail away. So I am gonna put another person here as well. And I think we need a few more guards on shift too. I don't know about the ice crushing. Like, it said that we don't need it. So I'm gonna stick to it for now. Because I don't think having one person there would be super helpful. So let's put one more guard here. So everybody has a job. Ship state is 3%. So hopefully this will increase with... we have 6 people, but 6 of them are in bed. We have 7 degrees ship's temperature. That's not super high. Today I received a report on the hunt for rats. Marion was very eager to do it, which resulted in the effective extermination of these pests, but that was more important. It resulted in gaining a significant amount of food. The fact is, such meat is hard to be preserved, so it had to be eaten before anything else, although we're not in a place to be picky. In the afternoon, we're faced with the nightmare of reality, in which I could blame only myself for the decision I had made. I was called to attend the infirm. Mariners have fallen. Mariners have fallen sick, sir. It seems that they're the ones who decided to taste the rats. They're completely unable to do any work, and it seems that they will not get better anytime soon at all. We also have to take into consideration they can affect others. Oh no! I was hit with the dark vision of plague or various disease among the crew. Could the meat have been contaminated? The doctor was informing me, seemed to read my mind. But worry not, Captain. There's good news as well. Practically everyone ate those rats afterwards, but so far only those 2 have fallen sick. Alright, so that's good. Ooh, and now we overheard somebody. The journey, they'll only burden us. Are we supposed to haul the sick in a sleigh? We already have a lot of weak men. Outraged men were talking between each other. First I wanted to rush into them and tell them my opinion on such bestiality. However, I quickly realized that they might be right. It's barbarism, but we're in such a situation that any additional burden might cost lives of everyone. Kill the sick or take them with you. Man, is this game done? I did say I'm doing practicality over luxury. Which I guess would make me kill the sick. But I also value human life. Take them with you. Well, if we kill them, we don't need that many food. I'm gonna take them with you. I understand the reasoning. I get it. But the moment we start killing our people, how are we still human after that? I'm just gonna take them with you. And if the mariners were right from a reasonable point of view, killing the sick humane would be inhuman. Looks like there hasn't been good decision to be made. One can only choose to do small or evil. Might pose a threat to the group, but a life is a life after all. Each one is precious. If we survive this, we will do this together. If we fall it, we will also be together. We have to go to the hospital. Alright. On the list of the sick, choose those who are food poisoned by the rat's meat and order them to treatment. Sick people in beds, even in this temper, will recover over time. So, treat patients. I mean, I have empty beds anyway, so... Can't click on that one, so we'll try it again. The UI is sometimes a little bit weird. Okay. We did it. We have -10 on the ship's temperature. I do want to make sure I didn't mess up this, but... It doesn't unfortunately tell me what's considered like a good temperature. We're -10 here. Furnace is 21. So I think 21 is fine. 21 degrees, so it's okay. Just as I woke up today, Captain Fitzjames appeared in my cabin's door. His face was dark and although there wasn't anything extraordinary in the past week. Preparation for the journey is practically finished, ready to set off in the next few hours. So that's good news, isn't it? Yes, it is. Although, do we know already where to go? It's indeed a problem, even though I had some scenarios prepared in my head. I invited Fitzjames to the table with maps. They're located somewhere here. We can try to save ourselves by navigating to the north, direction from which we came. We'd have to cross it by land. This would be the most reasonable solution. James was staring at the documents, and after a short while he looked at me. He was studying me as carefully as the maps a second ago. What about the second option? Up to that moment I wasn't sure I even wanted to offer a second option. I started slowly approaching a cabinet with alcohol. I took out a bottle of whiskey, which I had ordered to take with us for special occasion. Tell me in all honesty, James, what are the chances for us to survive? I was wondering how he could react to such a question. As it turned out, he wasn't surprised by it, not even slightly. Quite the contrary, it seemed as if he had wanted to hear it. You know, Francis, I think we're standing on the very edge from which there is no return. We're due. The only thing we can do is to be on duty until the very end of it all. Those words were ringing in my ears, especially because they were my thoughts uttered aloud. For this exact reason, the second option I see is heading to the south. According to the maps that we have added to my analysis, it is a direction that might uncover the Northwest Passage. Fitzjames was looking at me in silence as he was tasting my words along with the whiskey, so I carried on. If that is certain, we can give it a meaning and a goal. To embark on the last journey in order to discover the very thing we have set off from home. To fulfill our destiny in our last chapter. What? No! What kind of dumb idea is that? First of all, if you even find the thing you're looking for, the only thing they will find is your corpses. How? This is just... No. Thanks, Fitzjames. Fitzjames is all about I will follow you into any hell. Well, I'm not. Why? Like, we cannot give anyone the information. Even if we get there, we find the crazy thing we want to find. Who is gonna know? No one. No one is gonna know. Because we're gonna be dead. In the ground, drowned, or frozen, or starving, or whatever.
I'm going to the north, like a normal person. Like that, no. His mood was infectious. I laughed at him, and for a moment I felt as if we were in a different time and place. Maybe this relaxation helped me make a decision. Looking at our situation reasonably, even if we don't believe we survived, there might still be a chance for that. Absolutely, theoretically speaking. We have to at least try. I mean, maybe at least one of us will make it. It's just ridiculous to go to the south. No. And I know my first choice was apparently a real bad one, but I am feeling confident about this one. I was putting lost packages in my backpack and looking at my cabin for the first time. Ooh, so if you look at the ship here, it seems like we're not warming it enough. Which once belonged to Sir John Franklin. Suddenly I heard knocking on the door. It was one of the younger Marines. Captain, may I? Of course, has anything happened? He looks ashamed. The matter is, sir, exactly one another, and there are a lot of dead people on the ship. We're keeping them on lower decks, and there's no possibility for a burial. But maybe there's something we could do for them. I presume you have an idea already. Well, we do. If we're leaving the ship, we could at least put the dead in berths, where they used to sleep when they were alive, before they sleep forever. Yeah, why not? Doesn't seem like a problem. I assume berth is a bed. I don't know the meaning of that word, so guessing from context. I didn't see any problem moving the bodies. Actually, I like this idea, as I was wondering myself how we could honor those who passed away, and I didn't think of such a solution. I issued a permission. An hour later, the bodies, perfectly preserved by the cold, were moved to their symbolic graves. A bit later, while waiting for last crew members, I was standing all prepared and ready on the upper deck. We had boats loaded with supplies as we intended to haul them. They could come in handy in case we stumble upon a river or another body of water unless it's frozen. I wanted to gaze upon the horizon beyond which we will head, but in such darkness I couldn't see farther than a bulwark. Captain, we're ready. Very well then. A group of people were standing in front of me. They were exhausted, frostbitten, and sick, but at the same time they were glowing determination to fulfill their destiny. Gentlemen, ahead of us is the toughest journey of our lives. We will go down in history. Crew, leave the ship. Okay, let's go. Right. Oh, so that's the end of the demo. That works perfectly. I only saved 9 men thanks to not so wise decision you made. Whatever. 33 escaped, but only 9 made it, apparently. No one was disloyal, though. Everyone searching for information regarding crews of HMS Everest and HMS Terror. Commandant Sir John Franklin died on the 11th June 1847. His successor is the one writing these words down. Francis Rawdon Moira Cruiser, or Robert Randall Moira Cruiser. Our ships were trapped in ice in August 1846. When I realized that we wouldn't win against the ice, I decided to cease ice-breaking activities. People who were left without work to do were assigned by my order to work in the galley in order to utilize our food supplies more effectively. The events that followed were much more dramatic. People started losing their minds, and Mariner tried to crucify himself by quoting the Bible. I decided to isolate him from the rest. Didn't stop him from singing. We're gonna jump a little bit until we get to the leaving. There was a possible threat that they could— this is about the infected people. In fact, others, and quickly gave me an idea to end their lives, but eventually I rejected it. Had I killed them, I wouldn't be able to look myself in the mirror ever again for sure. Eventually, due to spreading diseases and shrinking supplies, we had to leave the ship and try to find help on foot. Me and my deputy came to a conclusion that the only way to save ourselves would be to head north. We decided to return following our own steps, but this time on foot. Before we marched off, I decided to move the deceased from the lowest deck to their berths. You could honor them. So it doesn't actually say how we went afterwards. Okay, so we just left the ship. Well, I really enjoyed the demo. Let me know if you did, and you can click on the right to watch some other games that you found on this channel. I'll see you there. Bye bye.